All right. So we are typing in our 111, the opening of the spirit realm. Lord, I'm praying that they can hear me all right, that you can hear me okay, spiritual superstars, because I want to make sure that you know not to beat yourself up, okay? Especially when you've got blessings coming in and you know it, and you should know it, okay? So hit that thumbs up button. We're about to talk. We're about to get into it because you do have a life that is worth living. And even if you don't feel like it right now, honey, you do. You are not born to just go through life unhappy, and you are not born to be abused, taken advantage of, taken for granted, be treated poorly. You are not born, you are not created for anything less than your best life. Okay? So I'm looking over here because I can see you. And so I want you to go ahead and type in your 1111s, the opening of the spirit realm. I want you to get ready for your blessings to come on in. Okay? When we're sabotaging ourselves, we don't do that on purpose. Nobody does. I feel like this. When we are in our own way, it's just our human. And you hear me say this often because it's the truth. You are the soul within your human, okay? And being a soul within your human means you control her or him, however way you identify with your human. So the first thing you want to do is you want to know what your human's name is, right? Hey, Lori, you want to know who she is or who he is. What is your human's name? Because when we sabotage ourselves, number one, we're not doing it on purpose. But number two, we've got to get control over it, right? So what do we control? We control us, right? We don't control the other person. We don't control the situation. That's why we are sabotaging it, because we feel a loss of control. So we have to come on back in and we got to know who our human is. My human's name is Jennifer. That's my first name. And that name I never identified with because I felt so distanced from it. So Jennifer was how I was introduced as a little girl with school, and that's how I introduced myself going forward and with work, you know, higher education. Everybody that I felt distanced from and felt like I needed to keep myself distanced from a safe distance to protect myself, then they knew me as Jennifer. So Jennifer, guarded, human, needing a need to control something in our lives, right? Meaning our overall life. Jennifer needed to control some things in order for her to feel safe and avoid getting hurt. So Jennifer was like this, right? Our human needs us to help the way that our human goes about life, right? So when we're sabotaging any kind of situation, any kind of blessing that's coming in, and I hope you can hear me okay. Lori, can you hear me okay? Can everybody hear me okay? Type in the comment section that you can hear me okay, if you would do that for me. When our human doesn't have a sense of direction, our human makes certain choices, and those decisions are what get us where we're going. And if we find, like say you find yourself right now in a point in your life where you're not happy with yourself, we've all been there, we'll all be there again, and that's a part of life. But we have to minimize that. And when we're talking about self-sabotaging, it's only because our human is making decisions based on past, thank you, Lori, and based on fear, right? So our human is all fear-based energy, all of it. Where we have our intuition and where we're feeding faith and we're just stepping out and we're taking these baby steps in the unknown, that's us. That's Necole or Nikki. And so that's you, the soul within your human. So get to know your human name so that she can know what your name is. And so she can start hearing from you and knowing that you are showing her that you've got her back. You're not just telling her, you're actually showing up for yourself, nobody else. You're showing up for you first. So guess what happens is that we get to fill ourselves up. We get to fill our cup up with ourselves. And if you just saw the video before where Spirit was like, oh, jumping in me, our ancestors were all in me, channeling that message of tough love. You know, we have to fill ourselves up before we give of ourselves, right? But sometimes we find we're trying to give, and we're not receiving. We still have that wall up. And in some way, shape, or form. And it comes out in sabotaging behavior quite often when that's really not what we want, right? And nobody wants that. So when you fill yourself up and you're able to say, I'm so full of myself, my cup runneth over, now I can give of myself. So some people say, you know, well, Necole, how do I know that I'm full of myself? How do I even know what that feels like? It'll feel uncomfortable because you're usually a giver. So you're usually depleting yourself before you are allowing yourself to be given to. So for example, if you're a mom, okay, I know that life very well, single mom, we give. I do. And if I give too much, I'm cranky, I'm irritable, I'm snappy, and I am showing less compassion. And I'm just like, yeah. You know, I'm just coming out with a lot of frustration and it's misplaced. My kids didn't do anything to me, but it's because I feel, I might feel sad and I might feel out of balance because I'm Christmas, right? I'm birthdays. I'm whatever they need, right? And so that out of balance energy, you know, it comes out ill when I'm not full of myself, right? And so that's how you know, and you keep doing it because it's out of fear-based energy. I'm fearful that they won't have what they need. I'm fearful that they're going to be lacking. I'm fearful that I'm not making up for the loss of their father. I'm fearful. All of these things come in, and then I'm trying to extend myself and exhaust myself. And before I would be just depleted, fatigued, sore, the lupus, the rheumatoid arthritis would take over, degenerative disc, I would have sciatica, all that, but got that under control with my peak performance, I like to say. And a couple other things that I'm doing that I'm very happy about, but I would deplete myself. So you want to make sure that you are looking out for the opposite of that, which means it's uncomfortable. You feel weird, right? That you are giving so much of yourself, and you're giving yourself so much of yourself, and it's really selfish. You feel that. But here's the deal. When you're self-sabotaging, you need to get more comfortable with healthy selfishness. Who's heard of that term? Right? Who has heard of that term before? Who has heard that term? Healthy selfishness, right? You gotta be selfish in order to fill your own self up with yourself. And it's healthy because if you don't, who else is gonna do it? So we do that, right, by communing with the Most High, getting out in nature, exercising, physical activity. If you need to clean like I do, to get some physical activity in there, which can, it's going to be equatable to exercise or running errands or just having fun, right? Filling yourself up with what you need. Maybe you're doing your nails. Maybe you are hanging out with the fellas. Maybe you are watching a game. You're deciding that, you know what, I'm about to go and watch the game, social distance, be safe, and all of that. But I need interaction. So I'm going to stay 6 feet, but I'm going to go watch the game at the neighborhood pub or the sports lounge, and I'm going to fill myself up. And that's a whole part of avoiding self-sabotage. Does that make sense? So it's a process. It's a process. Another way to stop self-sabotaging is to have an accountability partner, is to make sure you're around other people that are in self-development, that are trying to improve who they are, that are trying to burn away from the past, that are trying to make sure they don't block their blessings. The only way you can do that is to speak up, right? Is to use your words, is to say, I need help. And the only way we do that is to be vulnerable enough to say it. Some people say, well, if I'm going to be truthful, that's a great way to bring that up. Well, if I'm going to be honest about it, I really feel like this. I love that. A lot of my clients say that. Well, if I'm going to be truthful, I'm really scared. Or if I'm going to be honest, I really don't know how to stop myself from sabotaging everything that I really want. I don't know how to receive from somebody else. I really don't know what that feels like. I really don't know what it feels like to be complimented and be okay with it. People that have been abused may find it very difficult to receive compliments from the same gender or from some identifiable package that comes with that person that is very similar to the monster that abused them. So they might find it, a block there to even receive compliments when the intention was totally pure from this other person. And so inadvertently, they may sabotage a healthy relationship based on their past. So everybody has done it. We all do it because we're part human. But that right there is knowing I can make a choice not to sabotage myself just by controlling my human. I hope that really helps. It certainly helps me. And it's not something that you're always going to want to do. That's why having an accountability partner is so important. That's why meeting us in our private Facebook group, Spiritual Guidance Academy, is going to be something that I encourage you to always do. We're going to be doing units very soon. So by the time you look at this, you might already have started our units. But the units are there to just help you succeed in your spiritual driven life, in your purpose driven life, in your spiritual journey, So I hope that helps you. Look at my coaches down there. Exquisite Bliss. All right. Answering questions. I love that. Hey, Eric Jones, thank you so much for asking. And let's just say that because you might not see the comments if you're looking at this in a recording. So this is live right now, so I'm going to read the comments. Hey, quick question. Can your aura energy affect your computer or phone, like glitching, freezing, etc.? Excellent question. And Exquisite Bliss, one of our certified spiritual life coaches at Spiritual Guidance Academy, responded, Eric, absolutely it can. And so Eric says, can you explain why, please? And Exquisite Bliss says, as you raise your vibration / energy, you will see these happenings frequently. Nothing to worry about. Just you raising your frequency sometimes will cause interference. Hope that helps. The bomb. The absolute bomb, right? So if you are looking to receive certification and learn some things and also share some things and increase your visibility in your audience, we're looking for you. If you stay in your integrity and you want that coming back to you, we're looking for you. So check our programs out at spiritualguidanceacademy.com. Our certified programs are the bomb, if I do say so myself. And just ask people about me. Not everybody likes me, but not everybody hates me. So I do my best to make sure that you master your spiritual gifts. And so you have a voice. Because quite frankly, one of our main missions at Spiritual Guidance Academy is to really put some color and diversity in the mainstream spirituality. Spiritual industry is whitewashed. We've all seen that. We all know that. But my deep belief is that that face and that image of spirituality is not just one face, and it is constantly evolving. And I feel like we're going to see that happen very rapidly. And I want to be a part of that beautiful collective movement in spirituality. So definitely. That's awesome stuff right there. Also, Eric, I'd like to add, as Exquisite Bliss was very thorough and very accurate, I believe, very accurate. Would love to add, and let me just repeat the question. Hey, quick question. Can your aura or energy affect your computer or phone, like glitching, freezing, etc.? I love that Exquisite Bliss says, mentions or starts off with raising your vibration or your energy. You will see these happening frequently. And we also want to take into consideration, and Eric Jones says, thank you to Exquisite Bliss. You want to take into consideration the planetary alignments as well. Mercury retrograding. Anytime Mercury, which is the planet of communication, transportation, and money, is kind of backtracking, okay, then you're going to see some anomalies happening with technology. Your finances might be acting a little funny right along with that backward dance, and your communication with everybody, and including yourself, and your relationship with not only the universe, the Most High, but all of the little minutia that we have to interact with on a daily basis. So make sure that you're keeping that in mind. Just one quick story. I was traveling during Mercury retrograde. Everything that could have happened happened. I don't know why I put my credit cards, every single last one of them, my debit cards, everything, in the hump of the rental car. Never ever did that before in my life. During Mercury retrograde, definitely did it and felt like it was the right thing to do. It was totally the backwards thing to do, and ended up giving the rental car back with all of it in the hump of the car still. Okay. Also went through every single toll. Like I had an express thing on the truck, didn't have any express thing on the truck, didn't even bother checking, just automatically was like, of course I have it on there. No, you don't. Racked up a couple $100 worth of tolls that I had to get worked out. And what else happened? Went to to get on the train from at the airport, and look at the little the monitor. It's not little; it was across the whole. It's a huge one, huge monitor. Um, it says something like there's some error message on it, where usually the flights are there and all of that. Total, just what, where am I supposed to be and when am I supposed to be there and is it on time and all of that stuff. Go to the next gate, same thing. So Mercury retrograde will definitely have you feeling like you about to go, you jumped into the twilight zone and all of that, and just know that everything's going to be all right. I love about the frequency that is strong, strong, strong. And that's something that we all have to know. So before I end this, I want to say that, remember, you are a high vibrational being. Low vibrational energy is always going to try to interact with you because of your beautiful bright light. Not all white light is of God or divine source. Not all white light is divine and good. Not all black magic is negative or evil. Evil is evil, good is good. Okay? Godly energy is godly energy. Keep this in mind, that when you are interacting with anything, it is a relationship. Pay attention to what you're watching, who you're watching, what they're saying, what you're absorbing. Because even when you're reading something, you are interacting with that energy. It then becomes a relationship that you're forming. You and I have a relationship now because you've been listening, you've been absorbing what I've been saying, and we've been eye to eye or ear to ear, and we've been receiving each other's energy, whether you've got your eyes closed or not, you're paying attention. So it becomes that much more difficult when we are absorbing someone else's energy to release it when we need to. Remember, even if it's good energy, it's not our energy, and be careful about absorbing that energy. Receive it, let it go through you. Let it pass through you. Some energy you're not going to want to let go through you, okay? Because some energy doesn't deserve to be a part of you or in you. So keep that in mind. I would just like to just make sure that you all know that everything you interact with is energy. So don't forget that. A lot of people come to me, and someone today emailed me, very long email, lengthy, and got some work done by somebody on, I don't know if they were on YouTube or not, but got some products from them and got a reading from them and got some work done by them, physical work. So I think, or maybe Reiki. However, from that point on, this person was saying that they were receiving a whole lot of negativity and a whole lot of just receiving messages that were not happy and were not healthy. And he was seeking a way out of all of this. What does he do? What should he do from now? He went back to the person that he got this work done from, got the products from, and they were crystals. And he said, don't worry about it. This is, basically don't worry about it. It's no big deal. Well, the person that was emailing me was like, it is a huge deal. My whole life just turned upside down. And the only thing that he could equate it to was his interaction with this spiritual practitioner. Be careful about who you interact with. Be careful about what you receive from other people. Be careful about receiving a ritual or instructions from someone and you don't know why they're giving it to you, or you don't ask any questions. Ask questions. Always ask questions, and always use your intuition. So I can't touch that. And I told him, you've got to go back to that person and you need to ask the questions that you don't want to ask, because he was afraid to ask the questions that he knew he had to ask, but he wasn't in fear of me and he trusts me. However, that's still that fear-based energy is not always going to be something you want to deal with. It's not going to be something you just want to deal with it all the time. So be careful though that you control your human and you don't let your human lead you astray, because our human has to be directed by something. Okay? Human has, look at that, spirit, exactly, exquisite bliss. Number one thing I teach, right? Spiritual safety. Yes. Yes, absolutely. So, great question, Eric. What does it mean when your crystals break in half? That's a great question. Or when your crystals are lost, what does that mean? Honey, it's over. It is over. That energy is broken. That cycle is complete. Okay? That's a breakthrough. My pyrite. Oh, just broke while watching this video. Is that right? Where'd you get it from and what were you using it for? That's excellent. It's excellent. When you lose a crystal, this guy, I was coming out of Sprouts, the grocery store, and he had some crystals on, and I was like, oh, what is that? Tiger's eye? Come on, heart emoji eyes and stuff. He was like, whoa, he had some nice pieces on. And he's like, yeah. I like, they are gorgeous. He's like, thanks, he's like, I had another such and such, but I lost it and I've been trying to look for it and I just can't find it anywhere else. And I'm like, whoa, stop looking for it. Spirit intervened, gave it back to Gab, Earth, so that you could transform and transition and go on in the future and give that energy rest so it can be transformed. The negative energy, the stuff that you had to break from, can go back onto the past, and whoever locates that, it's going to be for them. Be grateful that you gave that blessing to the next person, So that was awesome. And he was like, oh, older gentleman. It was a blessing for me to be able to even share that with somebody, an elder. It was so out. That made my whole month, okay? I still feel really happy about that. So, manifesting wealth and abundance. What? Eric. What you talking about? You done manifested it, Eric. Good job. All right. I can't be too loud, but I sure enough want to. I'm dancing for you, Eric. All right. Eric. That's beautiful stuff, honey. So you have claimed it, and you know this. You've been working really hard. And that's the other thing, spiritual superstars, is when we claim something, I want you to be careful, because I've done this too. It's very easy to slip into the negative verbiage. And once we've done that, we know that it originated from a seed thought. So we have to be really careful about that. So stay positive. And especially this week, we're manifesting love and money, Eric, and everybody else. We're manifesting that wealth, that abundance that we really want. And it's infinite, right? So I claimed it. That's my future truth. I'm pulling it to me, right? So that's what you're doing. So when you say, could it be? That's a question that you don't want to ask, because that means you're doubting. Could it be? Yes, it is already. It already happened, honey. We're just in another dimension. I'm a true believer that we live in parallel dimensions. And when NASA came out with that and then backtracked off of it, I was like, oh, yeah, I caught it. Okay. So I know this to be true. You just confirmed it. You can backpedal all you want to based on whatever the government told you, whatever. That's a conspiracy that I definitely would believe happened. But I believe in that parallel universe. And so that it already exists. Our job is to just bring it to us. All right. So, absolutely. You have a great. Oh, thank you so much. Thank you, honey. Green has been all in my energy. I feel like my lips are turning white, so just forgive me, okay? You know, you get that stuff right around here. I promise you my breath doesn't stink. I feel so good about that. Thank you. Like for my diffuser, I'll share with you how right Eric is and how clear he is in picking up on my aura. Because I'm all on money. I'm all on them greenbacks, okay? What you call it, greenbacks, right? I'm all on it. I'm all on it. And my diffuser over there, what have I been focusing on? The color green, right? All on it. So, um, look at sage incense. Nice game. I love that. Exquisite bliss. This is so on time. Been experiencing so much synchronicities too. Thank you so much for this message. You're so welcome. So listen, this week we're on October 13th. We really need to pull your journals out, and we really need to get the verbiage right. Don't go into the 16th trying to figure it out. Right now is the time where you really want to say, okay, I manifested that. What is your next goal? Okay. The check that I received today is a residual income check. It has the same digits that I'm manifesting, the same numbers, the same symbols. Those are just symbols. Numbers are symbols, right? So as you talk about that sage incense, about synchronicities, and as you talk about that, Eric, right? Manifesting abundance and manifesting wealth and abundance. So it has the same symbols that are on my wall, right? Except it's missing 10,000 on top of that. So it's got the same numbers, except it's missing a quantity of 10,000 on it. And that came today, right? So what I'm manifesting is very clear. Just remember that this is the week you need to take that leap of faith and do the work. You've got to hustle. You've got to pull in the grit that the universe already instilled in you. God already gave it to you. In fact, the Holy Spirit lives inside of you. So stop fighting that. Absorb it. Be thankful. Wake up in gratitude because of it. And here's a big secret. This is what I do. This is what I do, and it works. So many people do that are successful, and it works. Is you focus on that one big thing that you need to do. Knock it out. That domino will just knock every single one else out too. Because for me, I'm all up here, right? And it's hard for me to stay focused from A way over to B, which is my next milestone, to my ultimate big one that I'm manifesting, right? So in order for us to do that, we've got to see the little ones. We've got to achieve those little wins along the way. And those little wins have to be celebrated, right? And so, in order for you to celebrate those little wins, you've got to get those little wins. But in order for you to get those little wins, you have to focus on one of them, right? But what happens is our human gets overwhelmed. And then our human is like, oh, I can't do it. Or what do I need to do? I got to do this. I got to do that. And oh my gosh, somebody else is um, asking for my attention. And oh my goodness, I got to do this. And then this whole thing pops up and I didn't expect that. Now my day is shot. To avoid all of that, I'm going to need you to get your journal out, right? And your journal can be anything. Let me tell you. Know what's in here? My money. My money. This is my money. This is where I keep my money. I write it down. I check my bank accounts every single morning because when you are on purpose and when you are open to abundance, you're not afraid to look at your bank account. But when you are feeding the spirit of lack, that's the last thing that you look at. That's the last thing, right? I've been there. I've been there. So that's one thing you do. You wake up and you show gratitude and you like, divine source, thank you so much for waking me up. It's going to be a wonderful day because it already is. Because I'm alive. I'm ready to do this. Because you know what's happening when you wake up. Spirit already told you that you're blessed and highly favored. That you are chosen to do exactly what you need to do that day, right? So what is it that you need to do? That's the big domino. What is it that you got to focus on? What is that one thing that spirit is like, get this done? That's going to knock down everything else. And you're going to see that next win and you're going to celebrate it. And then you're going to check it off and you're going to be like, yes. And then you're going to do the same thing the next day and you're going to write it all down. Promise you it works. Promise you it works. All right. This is so long time been experiencing it. And I have a pink, violet aura. Eric, you do? Can you explain, please? Heck yeah, that you're in your higher self. I love that you said that. Eric Jones says, I have a pink, violet aura. Can you explain, please? Pink, violet. Let me tell you, a lot of people see their crown chakra, which is their seventh chakra, in kind of a violet, right? Very different from your mind's eye. Very different from your third eye, your spiritual sight. It's a lot lighter. And it's indicative of you being in your higher self and connecting, right? Through the opening, the portal of your crown chakra. I don't know if you can see me, but right here, and you just see it. Just see the energy just pouring into you and infusing you with the knowledge and the wisdom, the spiritual alchemy that you need. And so you absorb it, you let it all in, and then you pass that on to somebody else, our higher self. Okay, that is where we get our spirituality and we're connecting with the divine, our ancestors, our loved ones, our spirit guides. This is where we are controlling our human, and we are communing, and we are not allowing the gossip and the harshness that people kind of bring and project, and the sadness of the fourth dimension that we live in. And so what we see is this beautiful sweetness of an aura. And a lot of people do recognize it as a pinkish, kind of violet, but kind of in between, kind of sometimes rosy energy. And but I see it as diamonds. I've always connected with it in a silvery diamond energy. And so you might see that as well. Some people see it as gray. The other side of that is you want to ask yourself some serious questions. What is your foundation looking like? What is your home life? What is your security and stability? If you feel unstable, if you feel more of a lack of insecurity, then I really want you to check out your root chakra. Because if you are more vibrating more on a lower or on a not even so much of a lower, divine source, please speak through me. Please speak through. If there's any break in the connections that you're vibrating in, on that root, on the foundation of which you stand every day, okay? So it could be your home, it could be family, it could be your job, place of business, your work, your goals, but it's your foundation where you would lay your head at night, whether, family is where you're at, or some people are really locked in on a geographical location like me. Home, family is where my heart is. I could live anywhere in Alaska, Timbuktu, but if my family's there, I'm good, you know? So look at that, because anything less than a strong, beautiful, full, red, robust, beautiful red, whatever color red you see that in, could be burgundy, could be candy apple, could be cherry, strawberry. But if you're feeling less than in your foundation, your sense of self, your identity, then you might need to strengthen that. And Spirit might be telling you that as well. Yep, sometimes white also, absolutely. Yep, yeah. So, all right. So, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 12:34. Isn't that beautiful? 1, 2, 3, 4. So we got 3 days. So, everybody, we should be writing in our journal, right? Listening. You also want to be automatic writing right now. You want to let our ancestors really lead us, because our ancestors, I believe, we owe them so much, and they're fighting for us on the other side. So when they reach out to you, remember, you're going to hear your name being called. You are going to receive their energy all over you. I mean, all over you. And you'll feel them walk in the room. There's been plenty of times on our videos where our ancestors came in, and I'm like asking, who is it? They say our ancestors, and I say, show me, please show me. Because some energy does lie, and the energy doesn't lie. So if energy is lying to you, you will feel it. Okay, meaning energy can be deceptive. And so you will feel it because energy doesn't lie. Does that make sense? Does that make sense? Because if you're tapping into any energy that you question if what you just heard or received or were told isn't the truth, it just doesn't feel right, then you know that it's deceptive energy. Does that make sense? Because I feel like the distinction between energy doesn't lie and how you recognize deceptive energy has to be very clear. So I hope that that makes sense. I just feel, I don't feel like I need to leave that like as a question mark for anybody. So if you are looking at this as a recording and you need further explanation, honey, write it in the comment section and I will definitely come back and answer you. Anything that you have questions on, I'm going to answer. Okay, I try my very best to come on back and answer. But so you definitely want to know which one is which. Um, awesome. Okay. Thank you, Sage Incense. Thank you so much. So our ancestors will always come in, like you could be sleeping and they call your name and you wake up, huh? And you're like, who am I talking to? Nobody is here. Or no one's in the room with me. Or your partner just didn't say anything. Your partner's like, I didn't say, I'm not calling you. Or you must be having a dream. So you sometimes you're gonna have to tell them, yeah. And you know, doggone well inside you like, yes, my ancestors talking to me. You know, sometimes you know our partners aren't like that. You right? You know, maybe they're not so spiritual. It's all good. We still love them to life, right? So know that that's happening, and know that you're being chosen. You're the acknowledgement is there. So this week, right, automatic right. Let God talk to you in the way that your spiritual guidance is going to come to you. And so we should all be manifesting something in love and money. Now, it doesn't have to be a romantic partner, doesn't even have to be renewing your vows or strengthening your relationship with your spouse or your significant other or even trying to find one, okay? Mm-mm. What it means is self-love, start with that, and find the balance. Libra is the balancer. Libra isn't always balanced. That's not what that means. It means that Libra's mission ingrained in them is to seek balance, harmony, which is why they always try to play the mediator, okay? And why, they are, who, me? Yeah, I know y'all do that, Libra. Who, me? They really do want to be the one that is just calm waters. Then you get somebody like me with a barracuda mouth sometimes, and it's like, so seek the balance, harmonize this week. Write it down. Don't care about what spirit speaks through you to write down. Just write it down and then be proud of yourself for writing it down. So it may sound really weird, right? It may not make any sense when you're writing it down. Write it down anyway. Some people ask me, should I write it down in a like line by line? Honey, you do what comes right for you because you also have somebody else to think about. You're human. So if your human says your human wants to write it upside down on your journal, then let your human do that. If your human wants to write it like this way, then do it like that. If your human says, I want to write it diagonally, like this, then let your human do that, okay? But whatever you do, don't stress your human out. Just write it down. And then walk away. That's so important. Walk away. Don't stress your human out. Remember, you're all in spiritual awakening. You're all in spirituality. You're all in your spiritual journey. You're all in to the spirit realm. You're so fascinated by it. You're encaptured or enraptured by it. It captures everything about you. It just turns you on. You are in love with spirituality. But your human isn't. Okay? Your human is not. Your human is going along with the program when you have become best friends like this. And your human is begrudgingly watching me when you are just stepping into spiritual awakening or your spiritual journey. So watch a little bit, come back. Let your human have a break. When you go work out, turn my videos on. Then your human is already focusing on something else and you can absorb what I'm saying. But don't stress your human out, okay? And so get up. When your automatic writing and the energy comes, get up. And I promise you what happens next, you're going to be so glad that you got up. You will receive your spiritual guidance in a way that pulls all of that stuff together that you just wrote down. Boom, it'll be like, what? All right. And you sometimes you're gonna want to go right back and write it down. Perfect, do that. Sometimes you're just gonna be like, I do it. Confirmation. There's another synchronicity. Woo! Most God. Lord. The hamster. Chimney is out. All right, let me go. Now I know why I heard Chimney. Now I know why I heard somebody upstairs in the bed. All right, spiritual superstars. I gotta go. Let me go get Chimney. Don't you go out of this room because the door is cracked. All right. You stay safe too. I'll see y'all tomorrow. Love y'all. Mwah.